Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. We're watching a clip of the Herd talking about Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. Let's jump right into the clip.
Took away from it. So Klay Thompson wants to stay with the Warriors, but Orlando's going to pay him a lot of money, a young team that needs a shooter. The question is, how much can you pay him? Well, Joe Lacob, the owner, through the years, has kept his guys together. But Klay Thompson has looked in playoff action like he's washed. It's looked like it. But if you notice, sometimes coaches send messages upstairs to the owner. Not verbal messages, more subtle messages. And I watched that game last night. Not a lot you can take out of it. AD is not there. Warriors were crazy hitting threes. But it feels like Steve Kerr and his staff are running more of the offense through Klay Thompson, are getting Klay Thompson more minutes, are getting Klay Thompson more shots, and they're saying to the owner, Joe Lacob, we need him. He's part of our soul. The Warriors don't have any size, so they have to shoot well to win. Draymond, 5 for 5 in the first half on threes. Steph never missed one last night. Paz was 3 for 3. And the Warriors are not a good team if they don't hit threes, 16 and 31. They're a great team, 28 and 4, when they shoot over 40%. And Klay Thompson is part of that. And they drafted a kid out of Santa Clara, Paz. And he's got more energy than Klay. But he's not as refined as Klay. And he hasn't put on all the hours with Draymond and Klay. And I'm watching last night. And if you look at the numbers for Klay Thompson over the last 3 months, his usage rate up each month. Points up each month. Minutes up each month. Why is he getting all these opportunities? Why was he on a Draymond Green podcast? I think the staff is sending a message. Kuminga, all their young bigs, they'd trade those guys tomorrow for a legitimate big-time center.
Okay, let's take off the tinfoil hat for a second, Colin. Because this is an outrageous take to me. They're trying to win games. Steve Kerr is not trying to send a message to the front office, okay? He has their number. He knows their address. He sees them all the time. He can talk to them, and sure, there's still ways that people send, messages and stuff like that. That's not what they're doing, okay? They know Klay Thompson is one of the greatest shooters of all time. Top 5 shooter of all time. They know how important Klay Thompson has been to their success. Okay? They know Klay Thompson obviously got injured, but his injuries, in theory, should not really prevent him from being able to still shoot the lights out of the ball. Now, can it be wear and tear and it just wears him down? He just doesn't have the same level of stamina and not the same level of defense. All of those things can make sense. But in terms of pure shooting, his injuries should only matter so much. Outside of him still experiencing pain, which I'm not so sure that he is. I believe with his injuries, based off my own personal injuries, that it's the post game and the next day that you have all this soreness. So I could see that, that pain lingering and how that can kind of get to you or how it could inhibit you from maybe practicing the next day or whatever his routine is to stay sharp, I could see. But he's getting these touches, he's getting this usage rate, he's getting these shots, these opportunities, these minutes because Steve Kerr is trying to get him going. He's trying to be like, he's doing this. If anything, he's sending the message to Klay himself, saying, I believe in you. You are still my guy. You are still Klay Thompson. Do not get this in your head where now, okay, you got injured, you got a couple surgeries, and now you'll just never be the same. Because you know what? We didn't get to go as far in the playoffs last season because you weren't good enough. And that's actually a compliment. It's us saying, we need you. You are a huge piece. This isn't all just Steph. This isn't all just Draymond. It wasn't all just KD. It's you, Klay Thompson. You will not be underappreciated here. So this isn't a message up to, the front office here. Because unless he thought that Klay Thompson needed this, or unless he thought, Steve Kerr now thought that, that this was what was going to put Klay Thompson in the best position to succeed and the Warriors to succeed. That is what Steve Kerr is doing. Steve Kerr is not just doing this because he's like, oh, well, you know what? We're still going to lose, but I just want to show the front office how important Klay is. That's not how coaching works. That's not how teams play. That's not how any of this works. Not to mention, if that wasn't going to put the Warriors in a position to win, then the players themselves would be annoyed. Even Steph Curry, the nicest guy in the league, is still going to be annoyed. He's not going to be like, well, yeah, you know what? Even though it's not the best for the team, let's still just highlight Klay just because we want to let the front office know we really like him, gee golly. It's like, I don't even really know what Colin is talking about in this regard. I think Colin usually gives some really great nuanced takes, but I would say, come on, what are we talking about here? He's getting the usage, he's getting the points per game because, one, he's getting better now. It took him a little bit longer to get back into his rhythm. He's also getting hotter. He's also trying to preserve Steph Curry, which he actually got ripped apart for, Steve Kerr, for that. But he knows that he can't just, have Steph just unleash the battery, just empty the tank game after game, because we'll have nothing come time playoffs. So coaching's a balance, especially with these older players. It's trying to figure out who has the energy, who's got the short burst, who's got the longevity. Do we have to pull players back going into the playoffs? It's a balance. It's like, it's a juggling act here. So this whole idea, I'm sorry, I just find that hilarious. That the Warriors, that Steve Kerr is trying to send a message to the front office. I just doesn't make any sense to me. That's one of the most bizarre things I've heard in a really, really long time. I can't make sense of that, quite honestly. And I love Klay Thompson. I want Klay Thompson to stay with the Warriors. I really, really do. So this isn't me saying I want Klay gone or this or that, but the reason why he's being highlighted and the offense is kind of moving through him because Steve Kerr is trying to do whatever he can to win basketball games. He is not sending a message to the front office. Just insane. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.